Who says scrub steel won't take an edge? Anyway, welcome back, YouTube. This is the second part of my video on misconceptions regarding the Cold Steel Kudu. And in the first part, I showed you that the knife is not just a knockoff of their copy, and that the Cold Steel is actually an improved version of a ratchet knife. And in this part, I'm going to demonstrate how to carry it and withdraw it and deploy it very quickly. And we're going to do it by just opening it by hand, and also learn how to do the flip. Back before there were switchblades, assisted opening knives, quillions, waves, thumb studs, and all these other fancy opening gimmicks. There were just two basic kinds of fast opening folding knives. First one being the Balisong, and the other one being the ratchet knife. And both of these knives do require some practice to get good at. If you want some demonstrations on how to flip a Balisong, check out Cutlery Lover's channel. He's got a ton of tutorials over there on the Balisong, and he's much better at it than I am anyway. For the ratchet knife, in particular the Kudu, I know some of the forum members over at Cold Steel Forum have been waiting on this video for a while, so let's go ahead and get to it. The key to doing anything with the Kudu is the ring, and that's probably misunderstood because most people are aware that it's used for closing the knife, but it's also used for withdrawing it and for opening it. When a Kudu is carried in a pocket, it should be carried with the ring up and to the front. Doesn't matter if you're left-handed, right-handed, front pocket, back pocket, doesn't matter. The ring should always be up and to the front. And when the knife comes out of the pocket, it's in the palm of the hand. Now, withdrawing it from the pocket, you don't have to put your hand all the way in the pocket, which can seem suspicious sometimes, so you can do it really discreetly. Or you can just flip the knife out. If you're going to use this flip method, you should practice it and make sure that you have a little curve in that forefinger around that ring. Otherwise, you're liable to throw your knife across the room. I can remember doing that a whole lot of times. Practice. Okay. From this point, if you had to, you could actually use a Kudu as a Kubaton. That hard Zytel handle would do some pretty bad damage to somebody's skull if you hit them in there. And once it's in your hand, of course, you can go ahead and open it. One-handed opening is done again with the ring on the forefinger, which holds the knife steady so it doesn't move. It doesn't move up or down while you're manipulating your other fingers. These two fingers will be pushing up on the blade, and these two fingers will be pulling down on the handle. And once you get the blade partially open, you can just thumb it open the rest of the way. That looks like this. And that can be done really quickly with practice. The Kudu is a forgiving knife. If you flub this opening, get it open part way, because of those extra lugs around the tang, the blade will not slap back on your fingers. But I would definitely make sure you had a good technique of doing this before you started putting your hands in the way of that channel. Okay. As far as flipping it, that does require a bit of a different technique. There's a gentleman on YouTube who's demonstrating how to open a Kudu. Now, unfortunately, he is using an okapi, and His recommendation is for a down, fast drop and sudden stop, something like that, and it works fine for a copy. It actually also works fine for a tie light or a Voyager, but a Kudu won't do that. You can do that all day long. The knife is not going to open. The reason for that is that the blade is much lighter than on those other knives, and there's a lot of tension on that first load of the spring. So the Kudu is going to require three things in order to flip it open. First of all, I recommend getting a better ring. This is one that comes on Cold Steel Kudu right out of the box, and it's pretty angular around the edges, and if you're practicing with your Kudu a lot, it's going to wear on your finger. I got this one off of a Inferno canister, but any rounded key ring will do. It just makes it much more comfortable. The second thing it's going to need is a small adjustment. There's a lot of tension on that first load when the Kudu comes out of the box from the spring. So to ease up on that and release it a little bit, just grab the knife and pull back on the ring and pull the spring up about twice as far as it would normally take to release the blade. So once you've done that, you've released a little bit of pressure on the load, but the knife still locks up rock solid and will require two hands to close. Now, whether accidentally or by design, you can actually pull up that far again and then add a little bit to it, which actually takes more tension off of the blade, and that makes everything I'm about to show you with the other knife much easier. And you can actually close the knife one-handed if you release some of that tension. Now that's fine because it's convenient. The blade still locks up perfectly tight, but you could have some vertical play in the blade if you do it that much. Choice is yours. Right. And the third thing the Kudu needs to be opening with the flip is a double snap. And that means that the knife is going to come out and the wrist will snap over and then snap back. So it's like this. This is what that looks like. Basic snap. Okay. One more time. When you get better at this, I should really show you to keep your fingers in place. Once again, the ring finger, or the ring goes around the index finger, and that ring actually adds more torque from the pivot point, and the rest of the fingers hold the back of the knife, so that maximizes the torque of the blade during the snap. When you get better at this, on the back snap, you can actually start closing your fingers around the handle of the knife so that it's fully in your hand when it's completely open. I would make sure I had that snap down pretty well before I started closing my hand around it, if I were you. Like I said, Kudu's a forgiving knife, and it's not likely to snap back on your fingers, but until you can do this consistently, I'd keep my hand and fingers out of that channel. Now once you learn the basic snap, you find that you can actually do it sideways like I've done there, or down, or forward, or even straight up. So, it's not about gravity, it's all about the snap of the wrist, back and forth. It doesn't matter what position the knife's in. If the snap's done correctly, the knife's going to hook. So that's how it's done. I hope you got some good information out of the video and understand how to do it. Don't get discouraged. You know, it does take practice. You have to be careful with that finger in the channel. And thanks for watching.